physically
Colt
looked at the line
McCoy.
of scrimmage. Go, can you just play the whole call one more time? Just
2nd and 5. This is Eno Benjamin. A little hop step, and he trucked Dre Kirkpatrick and takes it in for the touchdown.
oh my goodness. That's what James Conner looked like. Earl Campbell and Eric Dickerson all in one.
Best 49er hit this year had to be the Diamond Lenore on DeAndre Swift hit, right?
I'm going Fred Warner on Najee Harris.
Okay.
But I like that hit. I do like that hit.
I think the Fred Warner one, the degree of difficulty, like Lenore's standing there as the guy's coming across. Some might say it's a cheap shot. I don't know. I mean, I don't see how that's a cheap shot, but I don't know. That Diamond Lenore hit on DeAndre Swift. I mean, I think he wiped the soul out of that entire city.
I love Fred Warner's hit on Najee Harris because that set the tone for the entire season.
Okay.
The entire season. Dre Greenlaw's hit on, I mean.
Best hit you've seen ever in your life for Niner on anyone.
A Niner?
Yeah, on anyone.
Oh. It's got to be Whitner on Pierre Thomas.
Oh, my God, what a great hit.
I mean, Whitner was celebrating the fumble. I mean, he was celebrating the hit. There's a ball on the ground. It's like, dude, go recover it. I asked Whitner about that at the NBC. Yeah. He goes, well, my job was done. It's for them to clean it up.
Dude, before Pierre Thomas hit the ground, he was out cold.
He was cold. He was done. Now, the hardest hit I've ever seen in my life. Shout out my guy, Kean Jackson. I've known him since kindergarten.
Okay.
G. Parker Elementary School.
Okay.
College of San Mateo. He's played at College of San Mateo. Now, Kean Jackson, Pop Warner, is a Pop Warner legend.
Okay.
He's played as safety. Obviously, he was our starting running back at George Washington High School. Won a Turkey Day. Would just lay people out. His reputation, Kean Jackson may only be 5'6", 5'7", 160, 170 pounds.
Okay.
He's quick, and he will lay the lumber of strong safety. They were down in the game at College of San Mateo. You can look this up. They're down like, I don't know, 28-3, 33, whatever. They're getting blown out. This poor wide receiver runs a crossing route or a drag route, something. Kean lays this young man out. Now, I don't think the young man ever played a snap of football ever again. And I don't even like talking about it because it's that devastating. But San Mateo ended up losing by like a game-winning field goal because of that hit.
Wow.
And he laid out somebody. If you ask people, Kean Jackson, the streets of San Francisco know Kean Jackson is pound for pound the hardest hitter I've ever seen in my life. And I've seen Antonio Cooks. I've seen guys, Donald Strickland. I've seen Tapeti was really, he was a hard hitter.
I mean, he was a
DJ Williams at De La Salle. Pound for pound, I'm taking Kean Jackson.
Randy's.
I'm maybe a little biased because I've known him since kindergarten, but I'm telling you, Shasky, this guy, one time we were playing at Pop Warner, and he was mad because he had to play offensive line this game in Hillsburg. I'll never forget this. Hillsburg. I'm playing center. He's playing guard. He's literally crying as we're about to hike the ball. Linebacker comes on the blitz, and he absolutely depletes him. And I'm like, this guy's sobbing. He's just not even here, and he's laying dudes out. He had a reputation that, I mean, I'm telling you, man, Jay LaFrey had to tackle DJ Williams. DJ Williams, high school sports focus. He had to hit of the year my senior year. We watched it. He was a player of the year. He
went to Miami and was a two-way player.
I know. He
played running back and linebacker at the height of the experience.
He was a fullback, starting fullback, and scored a touchdown in the Sugar Bowl against Florida.
I mean, come on.
He had to hit of the year against Clayton Valley. This poor young man ran a wide receiver screen. Rod Bursey's like, in our hit of the year, DJ Williams. He cracks him. The guy's mouthpiece comes flying out, and they played it like 3 times in a row. And we're like, damn, how would it feel to play against DJ Williams? Not good. Not good at all.
We got full lines.
Talk about hard hitters. I like this as we get ready for the Super Bowl. Have a little fun. We could talk Warriors trade. We could do that tomorrow. Oh, my gosh.
The Warriors aren't making a trade. And
you know what? I'm okay with that.
Yeah, okay.
I'm okay with that. Maybe it's not the market. Let's go to Coach Griblock. He's got a hard hitter that we haven't even mentioned yet.
Give it to me.
Coach Griblock, what's happening?
Hey, what's up, fellas? Thanks for letting me through, man. First time, long time. How you guys doing?
We're doing good, man. Doing great.
Yeah, man. Thanks for taking me down memory lane there, Bonte, man. Just remembering my childhood and watching football and loving the game. One thing I really love is open field hitters, DBs that come up and hit and play in the box. Man, Rodney Harrison, definitely a thumper, man. And his teammate, I got to throw in Junior Seau, the late great Junior Seau, but Rodney Harrison, definitely.
Absolutely.
That's a great call. That's a great call, Coach.
He was a rookie on the 94 Charger team that went to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Rodney Harrison is one of He's one of the forgotten great players, even though he's on like in the media and like he's telling guys like, "Oh, I played in the league." It's like you were amazing. He was sick with the Patriots too.
He should be in the Hall of Fame, Pro Football Hall of Fame.
That Charger team, I know we've forgotten. I think the receiver was it Ricky Williams. They had Natron Means, Stan Humphries, Junior Seau. That team was good.
They were stacked defensively.
They were a good team.
They went to Pittsburgh and beat the Steelers at Three Rivers Stadium. They advanced to the Super Bowl.
The goal line stand.
Yep. Bobby Ross was the coach, former Georgia Tech coach.
Bobby Ross.
The guy on that team we haven't mentioned, Troy Polamalu.
Wow.
We haven't mentioned him. The hair, the flow.
Polamalu was pretty
Polamalu
sweet.
was a big time hitter. He had to hit on Willis McGahee. No, was it Polamalu or was it Ryan Clark? Who was it that hit Willis McGahee in the AFC Championship game in Pittsburgh? One of the more physical football games I've ever seen in my life. It's up there with Niners Seahawks. It's up there with Niners Giants 1990.
Yeah.
Was it Ryan Clark? Ryan
Knocked
Clark
him out.
knocked out Willis McGahee. What about, was it Pollard who knocked out Stephen Ridley?
Yes, it was Bernard Pollard. I'm telling you, Bernard Pollard was awesome.
Hardest hitters you've ever seen.
They basically adjudicated that player
Right.
out of the league.
They did. Rodney Harrison couldn't play today.
No.
Rodney Lott couldn't play today. John Lynch probably couldn't play
I
today.
don't know if Dante Whitner and Golson, you couldn't have those two safeties.
No, you couldn't. You couldn't. Those guys were. Oh my gosh!
I don't think people realize like Dante Whitner for the size and this is like Dre Greenlaw. They're not that tall. I mean, they're wide. Don't get me wrong, wide. They're not that tall, and they're blasting fools.
Blasting.
3 times their size.
Dick Buckus, all-time hitter. There's no doubt about
Singletary used to break helmets.
that. He did. He did. Vicious. Those '80s teams, like the New York Giants.
Joey Porter.
Joey Porter with the Steelers, of course. But those '80s teams, like the New York Giants, and then you get the Washington professional football team and Charles Mann and Dexter Manley and all those guys. Then you get Philadelphia with Seth Jordan, Clyde Simmons, Reggie White, Jerome Brown. Damn, dude. Like, how do you form a team like that with all those vicious dudes? Imagine being an offense. Like Montana in that great game at Veterans Stadium when the Niners had that great fourth quarter, 38-28. They win in Philadelphia. Did he get sacked like 9-10 times in that football game?
On concrete.
On turf, yeah, on concrete.
The game was so different.
It was so
That's why when I
violent.
see people comparing, this, it's just so different.
Lance Schulters was a good hitter.
Lance Schulters.
Very underrated.
Him and Zach Bronson at the early part of my Niner love.
I love Zach Bronson.
And Zach Bronson was one. I think he had multiple picks against Peyton Manning in the famous playoffs.
Yeah.
Playoffs,
He had a
Rick?
pick
That was
six.
against the Niners.
He had a pick 6. Yeah, that was against the Niners at the RCA Dome in Indianapolis. Zach Bronson, I believe,
Bronson.
had 7 interceptions that season.
Tony Parrish was underrated right after those two.
Yeah, he was.
Tony
He was.
Parrish broke his leg and wasn't the same, but he was badass.
Saints game. They're playing the Saints. Ricky Waters, Deuce McAllister, Madden's on the call.
Deuce
Somewhere. And John Madden had the coach's clicker. Remember, he would go, look at this. Boom. And we run. Boom. Look at this. He had one on Lance Schulters. He comes down flying in the box. Pops Ricky Williams. His helmet, you can't even see his face because his helmet goes sideways. And Madden just going crazy with the coach's clicker. Look at this. Boom. Boom. Let's go to Thomas San Jose. Boom. Thomas, what you got?
Hey, guys. Thanks for letting me through. First time, long time, since day one.
Thank you.
The 2 guys I'm going to mention are probably one of them is nobody really knows about or nobody cares about, but Peyton Hillis, the fullback for the Browns.
Madden cover.
And, yeah, he's like the low budget of my absolute all-time favorite guy, Mike Allstott.
I knew you were going
Love
there.
Mike Allstott.
Nobody wanted to tackle Mike Allstott.
Love Mike Allstott.
Nobody wanted to tackle him. Coach
was
Buck,
sick.
Coach Buck coming in from rear to Coach Buck.
Give it to me.
The Dole Patrol.
Yeah.
Ricky Jackson, Von Dunbar, Pat Swillig, Sam Mills.
Sam Mills was so sick.
I mean, they had 4 linebackers just flying around, just popping dudes.
I just hate the Saints.
I mean, just imagine watching film. You're in the film room, right? And you're getting ready for that game. You're game planning. You're watching film of the other team. And you're like, damn, Sam Mills, wow, Pat Swillig, whoa. Ricky Jackson, what? Von Dunbar. Like, you got to get ready for that mentally.
Ponte, if you're the Chiefs, you're watching the game back from the Niners, Detroit.
Right.
I've said to you at the break, the Dre Greenlaw hit on Laporta is a humongous human being. It's one of the best hits I've ever seen. And Dre Greenlaw almost knocked himself out for the season.
Greg Olsen was loving it.
Laporta just jumped up from it, too, like nothing.
Right.
Like,
Because
how
he's
does that
like
happen?
Freaking Frankenstein. He's humongous. These tight ends are huge. Dre Greenlaw is basically my height. I mean, he's way bigger physically in terms of the width and the biceps. I don't think people understand how hard this man hits. He's a throwback player. I mean, I love Dre Greenlaw.
Oh, he knows an underrated one, Jared Allen.
Jared Allen.
Remember the Jackass
spin move?
movie, the Jackass 3,
yeah.
where he hits Johnny Knoxville and he's just standing there all the time?
No, that's good. That's good. Wow, Dibber's coming in. Loneal was a rookie with the Dome Patrol. That's right, with the Saints.
Right.
He was a rookie
Didn't
with
one
the
of those
Dome
guys
Patrol.
pull a knife out on him in the locker room
I don't know.
over like a gambling debt? I'm dead serious on
Pulled
this.
a knife on who? Loneal?
Yeah, he's had a story, I think, about that on air.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, like one of those guys pulled a knife out on him. I mean, that is Gilbert's, putting a gun in your face over a card game.
War Whitehead coming in with the new GM of the Carolina Panthers. Dan Morgan.
Dan Morgan was
Miami
sick.
University.
Another Miami guy. He was a great player too.
Luke Kuechly was a hitter.
Yeah, no doubt.
Luke Kuechly was a hitter.
But he was a run and hit guy.
Yes.
I mean, he would fly.
Doug in San Francisco. Doug, what's happening? You're on the roast.
Morning, guys. Wanted to add Terrell Suggs to the list.
Sizzle.
Oh, yeah, T-Sizzle. He's good. He would hit you.
But still, the hardest hit I think I've ever seen was NHL. Brian Campbell on R.J. Umberger. Umberger had no idea where he was.
Damn.
Who was the guy?
Eric Lindros used to get knocked around a lot with the Philadelphia Flyers.
No, Eric Pronger had a hit on somebody years
was
ago.
it Eric
Remember
Pronger or Chris Pronger?
Was it Chris Pronger?
St. Louis Blues?
Yeah, number 88. He
Yeah.
was a defense. He was humongous, and he would always lay people out.
Oh,
when
the
they went-
6'9" guy?
Yeah.
Chara. That's Chara.
No.
Chris Pronger is St. Louis Blues. Yeah, Chris Pronger.
I believe he was with the Oilers at the time.
Okay.
He was all over the place.
Yeah, Benjamin Lopez spent $5 to say Cam Chancellor. There's no doubt Cam Chancellor was a huge hitter. Big-time hitter.
Let's clear these lines.
Yeah.
Get in, get out. Give us your hard hitter because we're getting ready for the Super Bowl. I'm fired up for the Super Bowl.
We got Super Bowl coming up.
I want to hear these names.
Romo said this about Travis Kelce. You got the Travis Kelce cut? This is how Romo thinks about these games. When you see premium players on the opposing team, you just want to lay them out. Here's what Romo said. Just to Mahomes. All right, we'll get to Kelce in just a second here. Let's go to Robin in the city. Robin, what up, sugar?
Hey, Sugar, can y'all hear me? Because I'm in Half Moon Bay. Can you hear me?
We can always hear you in Half Moon Bay. They got the best reception in the world.
So a couple of things. That Dre Greenlaw hit remind me of Ronnie Lott because he
Thank
used to
you.
hit people and hurt himself too, okay? I'm telling you, okay? I was just saying, Rodney, come on, stop hitting people because you're hurting yourself too. Okay, and then the second thing is Jack Tatum was probably the hardest hitting person. Listen, the Raiders that was their philosophy. They used to knock the hell out of Sammy White. Him and George Atkinson. Hit him high, hit him low. And they knocked his helmet off. That was their technique. Hit him high, hit him low. Okay? Now, let me tell you something. One of the hardest hits, I don't know if he's the hardest hitter, but one of the hardest hits I ever seen was his name Clemens when he knocked the hell out of Tom Brady. And Brady got up like Jilly Bo Bob, like, I'm cool. His knees was wobbling. Go back and look at that. He knocked the hell out of Tom Brady. Peace out, you guys.
Good call.
It was the anniversary a couple of weeks back, of Siragusa belly flopping on Rich Gannon.
Yeah, that was.
Siragusa was humongous. The helmet does not fit this man at all. It's one of the more incredible, swan dives on a quarterback I've ever seen.
Patrick Willis hit on Brad Smith against the New York Jets and Brett Favre at Candlestick Park. That was vicious.
I mean, he went down to both knees.
Yeah, that was.
Willis. Oh my God. Actually, so it's funny that you referenced that. Willis had a hit on Adrian Peterson that same year because they were both rookies that no one ever talks about that I think was as good as that hit.
Yeah, no,
and I can never find it.
No, I can't find it either.
anywhere.
I think Adrian Peterson got his scrub from the internet because I've been looking for that hit too.
You know which one I'm talking about.
I know exactly which one you're talking about. I know exactly the hit you're talking about. Brian Cushing hit on Marshawn Lynch. And Brian Cushing was a hitter. He's also probably on the all-steroid team. And, you got the all – somebody said the Tony Montana team.
There was a MJD hit as a blocker. Maurice Jones-Drew as a blocker on somebody at the goal line that he decleated. Those are always my favorite ones.
Those are fun. Let's go to South Bay Mike. South Bay Mike, what's happening? You're on the roast. South Bay Mike. We'll get there. We'll go Mike Daly City first. All right, Mike Daly City, what's happening?
Hey, hardest hit I ever saw from the Big Blue Wrecking Crew was Jim Burt laying out Joe Montana.
Yep. That's a good one.
That was sad.
That was on that turf at the Meadowlands.
Yep.
Joe Montana had to get helped out by 3 people.
He went to the
Going back to the
hospital.
tunnel. Niners got beat 49-3. They got rolled
It
in
was
that
like
game.
a WWE Monday Night Raw script. He went to the hospital.
Yeah, no, he got helped by 3 dudes. 3 dudes. South Bay Mike, hardest hitter. What you got, South Bay Mike?
I got Deacon Jones, Randy White, Mike Singletary, and Bob Sanders.
Ooh,
Bob Sanders.
is a good one.
And he was small.
Colts. Colts helped them win that Super Bowl.
I'm
He was
getting
a
a lot
difference
of
maker.
Jeff Fuller and Chet Brooks texts.
I like
now.
Jeff Fuller, former 49er. He would have been an all-time great had he not suffered that horrific injury at Stafford Stadium against the Patriots. Remember, Niners had to play at Stafford Stadium due to the earthquake. Let's go MJD on Sean Merriman.
That's what it was. That was the one.
That was all lights out.
That was the one.
Was Sean Merriman off the juice by then?
It was right after the Tila Tequila era for him. Spadoni.
It's a rough stretch for him. Rough stretch.
Hey, lights out he was that dude.
His dance? Yeah, his dance told you everything you needed to know about him and steroids. Go look at that dance.
He had a moment in time.
Dude, his dance, he was like, oh, yeah, he's a maniac. Let's go to Big Smooth in Oakland.
Big Smooth.
Big Smooth, what's happening?
Gentlemen, top of the morning. Hey,
Top of the morning.
this guy, Kenny Easley, was actually taking a pick before Ronnie Lott, the enforcer. I'm telling you right now, go back and look at his highlights. Big corner, he laid a wood, and also was a punt returner and a great runner once he intercepted. Kenny Easley, we got cheated because he had an injury, a career that's shortened due to injury, but actually taking one pick before the great Ronnie Lott.
Wow. I didn't know that part. Wow.
That's pretty good. That is pretty good. Hardest hitters you've ever seen. We'll clear the board here before we get back to some other pressing needs, pressing issues here when it comes to the Super Bowl. Of course, they're going to stay Warriors.
Just love football.
Sheldon Brown hit on Reggie Bush in that playoff game. That was nasty. Reggie Bush going out for a little swing route, and it's Sheldon Brown coming up and just knocking the wind out of him. Oh, that was nasty. But the Saints did win that game, 27-24 in the Superdome.
We're just talking about single hits. Rolando McClain suplexing Darren Sproles
Oh, my
on the
God.
Coliseum dirt.
I was convinced Rolando McClain was going to be a great NFL player.
So was I.
Everyone was. I was convinced.
That police shot, all time, by the way, smiling at the camera.
Oh, yeah, that was hilarious. Let's go to Vincent in Columbus. Vincent, what's happening, man? You're on the roast.
Hey, guys. My hardest hitters, obviously biased. I would say Troy Polamalu and Ryan Clark, especially the hit he had in the AFC Championship on Wolf McGinney and the hit he had on Wes Welker in 2008. I would just think such a hard hit. And honestly, just the 2010 Steelers team, that defense just changed some rules. So,
yeah. Hey, I keep seeing Chuck Cecil. Go look up Chuck Cecil highlights. 408 Comcast Business X, like Packers Chuck Cecil. Go look at Chuck Cecil, dude. I was a kid. We used to just get his football card, and every time you saw a highlight from him, he was knocking somebody out. I was like, he was born to hit.
Did you grow up on those same VHSs like I did?
Of course. I mean, I'm 41 years old.
No, but like some people didn't have them in the house. Like we had all those tapes, the bloopers, the highlights, and it was always the hardest hits. The NFL's hardest hits.
Yep.
And I loved those videos. And it was always on turf.
Yep. Was on turf.
Right?
Always
all the biggest
turf.
hits were on turf.
Yeah, unfortunately.
These guys would go
just get
flying
knocked
in the
out.
air.
Here's Romo on what he'd do to Travis Kelce in the Super Bowl.
I couldn't say it on the radio right now, but I would be in his ear about a lot of things about Taylor Swift.
That's what he said in terms of trash talking, but he also mentioned how he watched Travis Kelce to go out on a stretcher. I mean, we're getting stretcher talk from Romanowski. But that's how these guys think.
I know.
That's how they think. We're going to put this dude out. Like, they would take pride in a guy getting helped off the field. They would take pride in a guy being placed on a stretcher and getting into the ambulance. There was a vicious game in the 90s between the Redskins and the Eagles. It was Monday Night Football. And the Eagles were just knocking these dudes around. And there's player after player being helped off the field for Washington. I remember Monday Night Football had the graphic. They were like putting Band-Aids on every player. It was like they can't put together an offensive line. That's where the term, I think, body bag game came. I don't know. Yeah, Frank Gifford did get hit. You see the text from the 707? Chuck Bednarik, his hit on Frank Gifford. I think it ruined his career, if I'm not mistaken, 707. Miles in Fort Mason. What's happening? We'll clear these calls. We'll go back to some
and I have
here.
one particular hit that I think you're going to remember.
Okay. Miles, what's happening?
Hey, guys. Good morning. All right, quick for big hitters. I would say John Lynch. Man, can't forget about him. He would lay hat back playing safety. And, more of a safety bias, Ed Reed. And then, of course, Ray Lewis and, Patrick Willis and Navarro Bowman, who can go wrong there? And, I know I'm really late with this, but in defensive watch parties, I have had a great time, and the energy that you get with being with other people, and to where for Super Bowl, I'm looking forward to being out with the crowd. If the Niners win, I want to be out in the area, because when the Giants and the Warriors have won, I've really had a great time downtown. So in defensive watch parties, love you guys. Take care.
Bonte.
I'm not doing a watch party.
I'm not doing a watch party.
Yeah, I don't.
What about the Lee Woodall goal line play where he went 96
Buffalo
yards
Bills.
against Buffalo when they met up in the air?
Buffalo Bills in the rain.
Yes.
Yeah, that was my first ever football game I attended.
Really?
Yeah.
Was that a Sunday night game?
Sunday night football.
Okay. And who was Lee Woodall didn't make the hit? Who made the hit at the goal line?
I think it was Gary Plummer.
Was it Gary Plummer?
Might have been Gary Plummer or Derek Smith.
I don't know if Derek Smith was on the team at that point. It was like 95.
Had to be Gary. It had to be Gary Plummer.
Had left before Derek Smith
it was
came.
Gary Plummer.
And Lee Woodall scooped it up and ran,
came all the way down
like
towards the scoreboard. Yeah, Sunday Night Football, Buffalo Bills. Gary Plummer was a hitter.
Gary Plummer was he was sick.